Yeah, yeah, that works for me.
Cool.
Yeah, we
If
can
if,
we
if
can
if you know if we flow into it a little bit more, it's fine.
Yeah,
What's up,
man. We'll see
peoples?
what happens. Thank you everybody for joining. We are Cardboard Odysseys here again. It is Saturday night. You know how we do. Matt's just waking up. I assume you've been cracking real hard on the PoE 2, making some weird hours for yourself.
Sort of. I actually was
Yeah.
playing Balatro.
Dude, I've seen you on that. God, you're like time capsules and shrouded now on Balatro. What's got you so into it now?
I mean, it's like Slay the Spire, but with poker, and I like poker. I've never been like a super big poker fan, but like I've
Okay.
watched a lot of poker, like professional poker. Like Daniel Negreanu is one of my favorite poker
Right,
players.
because we're about the same age. So like Texas Hold'em became real big for
Yeah, I
some
love
reason
Texas
in the
Hold'em. That's
early
my favorite.
2000s.
Yeah, I
Um
I, I played Texas Hold'em with my dad. I went to a
yeah,
couple
see, yeah.
tournaments. Played it in. It's like the thing. It's my go-to card game. Like that's my favorite. So when you find a game that's like Slay the Spire, but then with also poker cards, you're like, oh, this is pretty fun.
Mm,
Then I found out I haven't done it yet, but I'll probably put another 100 hours into Balatro easily. The mods for the game are insane, like
whoa,
actually
they're
insane.
mods now?
Yeah, they're
What you
like insane mods. When I say there's co-op, you could do co-op. I don't know how it works, but you can do
what?
co-op. There's a
Oh my
co-op mod
god.
for it. There's mods that like change, like they like remove. There's it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, I'm one of those type of people that likes to unlock things. And
Yeah,
the sense of progression for Balatro, having to like unlock new decks, and like each deck has its own unique way of playing, and like I like to
yeah.
find the combinations. And I think because it took me so long to actually like figure out the game, like the
Mm,
game didn't click with me right away because I didn't quite understand the the multis. Like I didn't notice that
right,
there was a
yeah.
plus multi and then there's a multi, like a multiplied multi. So like
Yes.
in it, I could never hit a high enough score to like win. Like I
Your
played 10 hours
multiplier
plus and I just
multiplier.
couldn't win. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I thought because most of those build deck or deck builder games are designed to like not really win. Like you're like every time you play, you're like unlocking something. But I noticed in Balatro, and I'm like, you're not really unlocking anything because you have to
Not
win to unlock
yeah,
it. So I'm like,
yeah.
something seems wrong. However, one of the mods, there's a skill tree, like a skill, not a skill tree, a skill like
Like meta progression of some
yeah,
sort?
not well,
Okay.
each in each run, it's like a roguelike even more. Like you'll
Hmm,
play a hand and you'll get experience points, and then as you kill a boss, you can like pull up a skill tree or like a skill page, and you can like pick like skills with experience.
hmm.
It adds like a whole new thing. And then there's some mods that are like so freaking crazy. There's like they add like new items and new jokers, new ways to modify the
That's
cards.
interesting.
It
Yeah.
is wild. I'll have to
So,
link you this video
yeah,
of a guy called Raffle.
definitely.
His name is Raffle Light, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
put that in our chat. That would be definitely something I'd be interested in taking a look at. I play a lot of roguelites, roguelikes, and all that stuff. And I've recently been getting into one called Noita, and
yeah,
it's particularly difficult. And there is no meta progression whatsoever.
it's
Every
weird.
single run, you start out with 2 random wands and 1 random potion, and you can
Huh.
never add things to your pool. There is nothing of that sort. How you progress is you learn more. You, as the player, learn how to play better. So you could fresh install if you really know how to play the game and beat the crap out of it. It's just so ridiculously difficult.
Interesting.
Hey, Freya, thanks for joining us this evening. Same thing to you, Declan. And of course, Time Capsule, one of our best, one of our most favorite subscribers and channel members. Actually, we're going to be live streaming tomorrow. Time Capsule and we're going to be playing some Enshrouded. God, I love these multiplayer games.
This one mod that I just linked in the chat, I can or in the in our Google chat. I'll share it just to kind of give an example of how stupid it. I mean, you can just see the thumbnail, but
Yeah.
we do share, present.
And speaking of modding, that's one of the great things about doing PC gaming, just in general, is that that's more accessible than in any other platform whatsoever.
Yeah, his score is so big that it's
Oh yeah,
it breaks the E even further. Like instead of
yeah.
it being scientific notation on the left, it's like with
Mm.
number signs and like it's crazy
Yeah, I
because like
follow a content creator, Northern Lion. He's one of the premier roguelite players and doing this without mods. Yeah. This
but look at
is
how many like jokers he has and look at like there's like
yeah.
different names and like the shop
Everything's a
has
negative spot or he just
yeah
has like a
the
thousand.
shops has they have more
It's like
available because
7
you can get
different
more
options.
vouchers.
Yeah.
These like
He's
at the
got
top
4
right
packs,
there's like more consumables that like do
consumable
different
spots. Yeah.
things. Like there's like it's like so in depth that like, you can like one of the consumables he clicked on it and he's like what he's like what do I want this to be, and he just typed whatever he wanted and hit enter and it just changed it to whatever it was. He's
I
got like
mean,
you're like hacking the
look at
system.
what he's holding for money. He's got
That's
$710,000
it.
in Balatro. That is
Look at his
obscene.
money now.
Yeah, don't
Because
get me
what
wrong.
happens
That's
is it gets it. This is definitely not necessarily what I want to play. This is
no,
he
right.
was
That
so
doesn't
broken so
seem
early on that he just can't lose. But it's
yeah.
definitely interesting. There's a thing called birthday cake that like makes the shop re-rolling free, and then every time you re-roll, it gets a multi.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
I've
yeah,
seen bet when Balatro first came out, one of the things that got me into it is I had seen somebody make an infinite loop with their deck so that every time they played a card, it added a gold coin or something onto it, and then they had a vampire that would
uh-huh.
take it off. So it
Yeah.
was just every single time they'd play, it would just become stronger. So it definitely kept up with the ramping of the difficulty of the game itself.
I had a build yesterday. It was a Pecchio build. It's one of the rare joker or legendary jokers that it says whenever you leave the shop, it makes a negative copy of anything, any consumable, a random consumable in your consumable slot. So what you can do is you could have like a planet over there, say for like a flush, and
Yeah.
then so you make a bunch of copies of flushes. So you have like let's say 20 negative copies of flushes over there. You don't use them. You leave them
Until
there
you're about to
because
score one.
no, because there's a voucher that says every consumable slot in your consumable area gives you 1.5 multi, 1.5
Oh,
times
geez.
multi.
Oh, man.
So
That
what
just
you
gets
so you
nuts.
you have to go you have to get the telescope, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, everything in your consumable. So then what happens is like every single time. So then what I was doing is I got a blueprint. So then I would move the blueprint over to the
Yeah,
Pecchio,
double that,
leave the
yeah,
shop, get 2 Jupiters, and then move it back to the
yeah.
DNA, play a card, duplicate that, then move it back to the multiplier that I had. And my run was so insane,
Mm,
and I was like, okay, I need to get out of flushes and I need to get into single high cards because once I do, I have so much multi over here. Once I do single high cards, then I can have a bunch of steel cards and I can score or have my score go even
mm.
higher. Well, I finally found a high card Pluto to put up there. So then I sold out all of my stuff over there and then I lost because I didn't have enough points. So I transitioned too fast.
Right,
I
yeah,
flew
yeah,
too
yeah.
close to the sun. It sucked because I was like, no, it was so good. It was very
Oh,
close
sorry,
too.
Chris.
Yeah,
Speaking
it
of
is what it
flying
is.
too close to the sun, Magic the Gathering recently, they put out so many sets so quickly, right, Matt? And now, we're in this weird break. I don't think we've had this long of a pause in Magic the Gathering. It's almost like they're in a freeze until Innistrad Remastered comes out.
Yeah, I saw they were doing some spoilers ahead of time. It seemed like for Innistrad Remastered, there's like 6
Yeah,
or 7 at least spoiled cards that I saw. Some
same,
reprints
same,
like
same.
Snapcaster Mage,
Yeah.
Mihawk Massacre.
I think
Uh,
Emrakul.
yeah, Emrakul, The Promised End. You've got
Yeah.
Edgar Markov, and I think that might be it. Oh no, there's some red enchantment that gives all creatures haste for 1 mana. It's like Concordia Crossroads, but different.
I'm going to go ahead and try and pull up some spoilers now. And yeah, there we go. Just a
Oh,
moment.
there's
Bear with
Throbbing
us.
Inspector, Mausoleum Wanderer, Young Wolf
Throbbing
Spellcaller.
Inspector.
Throbbing.
No, I did. I usually say throbbing as well. It's just funny every time we do. That's why.
Blood Artist, that's a good one. Crackling Counterpart, that's a good one.
So
Hot Master of the Fells is a good one because it was when I played Standard. I remember Master of the Fells at the time when it first came out. That card was so busted. Everybody was like,
Mass
"Oh, it's so
Hysteria.
good."
For one red, that ain't too shabby at all.
Yeah, it's like a Chord of Crossroads, but in red.
Uh,
All creatures, not. It's just it gives your opponent's haste as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So you have to play this at a good time. What I would recommend if you played in a deck that gives, oh yeah, I forgot Liliana the Veil as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if she needed another reprint for value wise. Like I don't remember if she.
No, I think she was only like $15. So Blood
I think
Artist.
it's appropriate to reprint her here because it's like this is Innistrad remastered.
Yeah, this feels tasteful as far as like placement of it. Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, right now
Same thing with like Blood Artist.
14. Dominaria Remastered made no sense to have Liliana the Veil in it. Thraben Inspector. Lingering Souls, that's another good card that just like
Lingering Souls.
I mean, it's not like amazing now, but like back in the day, that card was insane.
Yeah. Snappy, everybody's
Snapcaster
favorite.
Mage again. I still feel like Snapcaster Mage is so good and nobody plays in a commander. It's very weird to me. Giving every spell in your game has flashback. Like that's insane. How would you not play this?
I mean, it's fine. Now, I got to say, I actually do like the way this card looks. I just still don't think it reminds me in any way of Magic the Gathering. This just looks like a cool movie poster. So I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 lately, right? This just seems like something I'd see on the like walkway in Saint Denis. But
I just realized that it's explaining what the card does in the title of the movie. When the Meathook Massacre enters, each creature gets a negative X whenever a creature. That's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I kind of like.
Oh, and look up here. This little flag in the top right corner is the casting cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. This whole thing is
unique.
Weird. Yeah, it's particularly stand out.
It kind of reminds you of sorcery when you're like, you have to like look everywhere on the card to figure out what it does.
Yeah, including the fucking internet and Discord. Yeah.
Bible. You really have to like to figure out what it does.
This is a decent artwork. I like this full art and that they put the symbol for the plane that they were on there.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of just full art. I just think that looks better in every way.
Absolutely.
All full art, like every single full art. They should just remove borders. Remove the borders. Break the borders down.
No more borders. I don't care who builds the walls. But realistically,
take the walls down.
This is still so incredibly readable. The parts that need to are stand out between the name bar where it holds the mana symbol. You've got your base area where it describes the creature type, the actual text of the card, your power and toughness. And you've got wall-to-wall artwork. This looks great. Just stick with it.
I'm curious what you think of the retro Liliana. I don't know. I think you scrolled past it.
I did, yeah. I mean,
what? Not the art. The way that the Planeswalker is displayed. What do you think about that?
Whoa! I did not realize that this was a Planeswalker.
Yeah, right.
No, like legit, because we looked at this card for just a quick second, and I was trying not to linger on it too much because I do like brunette, so I could linger on this for far too long. But
you have to let it linger.
In Lingering Souls and Lingering Soul. I did not realize.
Let it linger. Anyway,
how is this a Planeswalker? This looks so weird with just this 3 here. I didn't even realize it.
On all the minus abilities, they don't have any like kind of separation. It's better.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the Planeswalkers that don't have any like all the text is just all smashed together?
Oh my god! When they did that dumb ass secret lair where it was just like all bricked out, I think it was like a Karn or something. I wanted to rage so hard.
It's like those lands that have like this super long explanation.
Yeah, where it's not instead of textless
text.
Lands, it was artless lands.
Yeah, it's just straight up text.
Oh my god, I hate people so much. This is what happens when I stop drinking. I get angrier. Where were we?
I think Twice is back. I missed that.
Archangel,
Archangel
or Archangel? What do you use?
I say Archangel.
Yeah, it sounds less dumb, right?
Yeah, when you say Archangel, it makes me think they're like arching their back or their feet
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
It's
It
the
doesn't.
angel of arches. They're really big on Greek artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because this is what we need more in flying indestructible creatures. Arc, yeah. Hey, you do. It- I I don't know how I feel about these showcases. It looks so.
It reminds me of the Bloom. No, not Bloomborough. It's right there. It's and I just haven't woken up yet.
I
Where's
think
my
it's
energy?
from the Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt. They had a very similar looking frame.
Yeah,
Um, but
maybe
I
that's what it's from.
I just don't know if I like
I
it.
was thinking kind of Wilds of Eldraine. That's the one. I was like, it starts with a W. But
I
yeah, I don't hate it.
I don't know. The filigree's
To
not
me, this
bad.
still looks better than the basic borders.
Yes, 100%. I am 100% behind that.
But as far as like
Mm.
super showcasey, now what would be really cool with that art or that style of border is if like the gold leaf, if that was a gold leafed. You know how
Oh,
they did the
if
gold
it did
etched?
like the foil etching.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
that would look really cool
100%.
on the edges.
Oh, like the filigree stuff that they did for Nuka Penna.
Yeah, exactly. The gold
Yeah.
etching.
Yeah, but they
Like
didn't.
the Strixhaven is what I'm talking about. The Strixhaven, like if they just made all of those golden swirls, if that was gold etched, that would be so cool.
Mm.
Maybe
Well,
there
we'll
is. I
just
don't
have
know.
to see what MPC Phil and MakePlayingCards.com can do. Aha.
Yeah, they're able to do some stuff, but they're not able to do the super specialized cool art of stuff because like they would have to know. There's
Where
no
to
way for them
print
to do it
line.
because they'd have to
Yeah.
know the art to like be able to pick specific spots to do the thing.
Mm.
Like, they have the technology to do gold foil etched, but they don't have the. I don't think they have the technology yet to like pick what parts to foil etch in the
Yeah,
printing.
I get you.
So I don't think they'll ever get there, but we'll see. One
I
day.
gotta say, I like this a lot more than this. And I don't even care about what the cards are doing. That's not the thing. Just again, full borderless. This is some. This looks like it would be a movie poster that I'd put on my wall somewhere. This looks pretty awesome. I love
Maybe
this.
I'm
Like,
just a. Maybe I'm just a. I don't even know what to call it. But does the middle tentacles look like a pair of lady legs?
oh yeah, oh, I can kind of see like a pink leg crossed over. To me, it
Yeah,
looks
just
more.
crossed over pink lady legs.
I mean, this
This
reminds
version
me
of
of.
Evercross kind of hot. I'm
I,
not even into tentacle porn.
I gotta say, yeah, like this.
Just nice pair of lady legs.
I'm
I'm a
just
big fan of
assuming that
legs,
it's also
so
like surprisingly warm and a little bit wet too. So, yeah. Yeah, but realistically, again, I think that the artwork on this just reminds me early 1900s, 1930s, 1940s kind of like sci-fi. This is really cool looking. I would love to have this framed up full size, not even caring that it's a magic card and not an advertisement for a B horror movie. This looks fun. Can't
sure.
read it. Like there's so much going on here. Like,
It's like snapping a building, and everybody's like, ah.
oh yeah, freaking out. And if someone put this on the table, it would be difficult. I'd be like, you have to hand me that card, or I'm gonna look it up because I can't read this.
Yeah, well, that happens with a lot of cards.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse.
People will like start reading a card to me, and I'm like, can I just read it myself?
I've always enjoyed this frame for the miracle cards
Miracle
with like
cards,
this white dash lines.
I like miracle cards. One of these days,
Each
I'll make a
one-
miracle deck. There's a new miracle commander that came out that I would like to play.
Ah, interesting.
Maybe in one of the. It's like your enchantments have a miracle off the top of your library when you draw them.
Oh yeah. Hey, make sure you guys subscribe. That way you can check out a deck tech.
I've got a Marnius Calgar deck built. There's been a lot of chat on the deck tech video, and people have been asking, "Where's the? Can we have an update, please?" So I'm like, "All right, well, I made it. Now I just have to record it."
Hey, you've done more than half the battle.
Yeah, well, realistically, yeah, I just need to talk about the cards.
Then
Young
we've
Wolf,
got
that's a classic combo maker, and Protean Hulk.
Oh
Protean
yeah,
Hawk
this
combo deck.
undying thing. God
Yeah,
damn.
it's just because it's a green mana with 1 casting cost. It
Yeah.
combos with Protean Hawk and there's a combo called Protean Hawk combo deck in
Voltaren
CDH. It's not like
Bloodcaster,
super popular, but it's cool.
Uvenweld Mystery. Whenever not to,
I think that's a new one, but I don't know.
Hmm.
It looks decent.
Cactus counterpart.
That's not new.
That's a fine price for copying. Interesting.
And it has
Escalate.
flashback. The flashback is good. Yeah, Escalate's back.
I don't know if I've seen Escalate before. It's kind of like Spree, huh?
Yeah,
Except
it's
it's
basically
just set
Spree.
at
I'm
free.
confused why they made Spree, to be completely honest, because it's basically just
Because they
Escalate.
have to. They have to keep making mechanics for every new set.
I guess with Escalate, it's different because each cost is different.
Mm.
Spree
Oh,
or
well,
Escalate
for
is
Spree,
the same
each
cost
cost
no
is
matter
different,
what
yeah.
you pick.
Yeah. Falcon Wrath Gorger. Hey, what up, Ed? How you doing, brother? I mean, more vampires because we're getting Edgar Markov, so why the heck not? And it's Innistrad, you know. What's more Innistrad than vampires and shit?
Madness.
Eldrazi's. Why are Eldrazi here? That doesn't make sense whatsoever to be in
because
this.
because of Emrakul.
Yeah, why is Emrakul in this? Like, that doesn't make sense either.
Wasn't Innistrad wasn't Eldrazi in Innistrad too, or was it just mainly vampires?
I don't believe so. I mean, I think the Eldrazi are a multi-planar threat, so I guess whatever, but it seems kind of like bullshit. We've got Graph Rats at the beginning of combat on your turn. If you own Midnight Scavengers, what? We're not doing this. I don't want these meld cards. Bullshit. Yeah, and this is the other one.
Well, there were shadows over Innistrad. I'm checking to see if there was any Eldrazi in the shadows over Innistrad.
Prepping to rip some madness. Oh, what are you getting into tonight, Dual Brain?
Doesn't look like it.
Deadeye Navigator. Okay, got some blink action. And of course, we're getting Edgar Markov back, you know.
It's his first reprinting since he's been in a commander deck, I think.
Yeah, no. 100% correct. Oh, doing a Mercadian Masks box. Nice, dude.
Yeah, you know, there are no...
And an Odyssey. And an Alliance. Jeez, you're getting nutty tonight, brother.
Innistrad has no... It has no... I don't know why there's... I don't know why they're there. I can't explain it.
Yeah, realistically, if you're not playing Edgar Markov as your commander, it's not super good in the 99 because its Eminence ability just doesn't work. So it's just first strike haste when it attacks.
Yeah, you would never play this in 99.
Yeah, for the cost of it, it's just kind of ridiculous. Baby 2 coming soon. Jeez,
I mean,
Louise,
I guess you get the Eminence whenever you cast it, even if it's on the battlefield. Still, I guess it's fine, but either way, probably not.
Yeah, I can't say I'm super. I never cared for Edgar Markov. Like, I've played against it a couple of times, and it was always meh. It's so expensive to get out.
John, Dualbrain is a content creator, so you can just search YouTube for Dualbrain MTG. You'll be able to find him. He'll be live soon.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what we've got for Innistrad Remastered previews. I mean, nothing terribly exciting. It's pretty much what you were expecting. What I was not expecting, and you had shared early in our private chat, was some of the box prices. Jeez, man, this is going to be an expensive set.
Well, they were pre-ordering for 300, weren't they?
Yeah.
But they're like, the MSRP was only like 180.
Yeah, just nuts.
Innistrad Remastered right now. The collector boxes are 330.
Why? Like, don't get me wrong. It's going to like artificially make the cards more expensive because there's going to be a higher buy-in price point. So less people will get product. So therefore the packs have to be more expensive. Like, less people have them. The cards are going to stay expensive for some of these ultra rare versions that we're looking at.
The play boosters are $220 for pre-order.
For,
you know what's crazy about the play boxes? They're do they have this is the first time that I think they'll be done the 30 packs. Is this the one?
Oh no.
No, this is still 36. Okay. So it's Aether Drift. It's going down to 30. Okay.
That's just stupid. And price increase, pack decrease. What a great combination.
Well, no, I don't. Bob kept saying that too. It's not. It's not. It's going to be cheaper. They're removing 6 packs, and in return, it will be cheaper. It's not staying the same price. At least that's from what I gathered. Everything I read about it was that it will be cheaper.
I would love for that to be the case.
It says that the MSRP of the box will reflect the prices going down by 6, but the packs prices will stay the same. So if the packs prices are staying the same of MSRP,
be 30 something cheaper.
It should be 6 packs cheaper.
Yeah, $36 supposedly cheaper.
Well, Dual Brain for Innistrad Remastered, it's different. It's more expensive because it's a remastered set. They're typically more expensive. We're talking about Aether Drift when they remove the 6 packs. It's supposed to be cheap. We don't have any pre-order pricings on that. Until that comes out, we don't know. But the article seemed to be convinced that it will be cheaper as a whole overall. Like the play boosters will be cheaper.
Hey, realistically, it seems more expensive than ever to be a Magic the Gathering player outside of us Proxy Kings.
I don't know. It seems like the price hasn't changed for me. I just keep getting the same price on NPC Auto, NPC.
Yeah, right. Moxfield's still free, so I make my decks there. I test them out. TCG player, free to look around.
I have to do an order soon. I haven't ordered in like years at this point.
From what?
I've just been. It's so much easier just to like print them off on my printer and just cut them, cut them out.
Okay, so what else did we have on tonight's topic list? We've already crushed Innistrad Remastered, and now we are looking at the $150 Secret Lair deck. 20 ways to win. Matt, have you looked at any of this?
Yeah, Bob and I talked about this last week.
Oh, well, no offense, but I don't watch our show. Usually I participate in it. I mean, I'm not going to do this for 90 minutes live.
I listen to myself talk,
Yeah, I have a podcast I do with a friend of mine. Sometimes it will talk for like 3-4 hours. There's no way I'm going back watching that
Although
shit.
I will say I have put our podcast on in the background a couple times, and I think we do a pretty good job.
Oh, absolutely.
I would highly recommend liking and subscribing to the video, sharing it to your friends. I mean,
yeah, if you've got some cool Facebook groups that you think would be, better off for being exposed to our content, absolutely feel free to do so. If you want to become a channel member, get a little bit extra out of it. If you become a channel member, we actually do put you into the pool of people we talk to about multiplayer gaming. That's how Time Capsule and I are getting together tomorrow for some Enshrouded. So if you want to see some video game playing, if you want to see some D&D, subscribe, do the thing.
Yeah, one of these days I'll get around to making a video that explains the benefits of being a channel member. There's some pretty good ones, I think. We'll be able to I think there's a way to make it so that when you're in our Discord, you'll have like a special tag and maybe some special privileges, stuff like that. So the after show, we do the 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer. Just kind of chatting horizontally.
Right.
And less filtered. We could be completely. There's no monetization on that channel. That's just strictly for members. And one of these days, if anybody ever wants to, we can have people jump in VoIP and chat in the members only portion. But PoE 2 was one of the things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So my experience with PoE 2 is probably different than probably more than 1 million players, which is pretty cool. So Path of Exile notoriously their most popular expansion, or I should say their highest player count on Steam for PoE 1 is 220,000. Now that's obviously still a lot of people, but it's lower compared to, like, if I remember correctly, the estimated player count for Diablo 4 is like 4 to 5 million, somewhere in that range. That's a lot. And Diablo 4 is not a bad game, but I would say it's bad in comparison to PoE 1 and 2. I think both PoE 1 and 2 are better than just about every Diablo there is.
Hot takes.
Combine them all together, they're still better. But PoE 2, the thing that they were like, people were concerned about was with that many people and with it, GGG not being like a super big AAA company.
The server load.
They're still big. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They're backed by Tencent, so if they really need it, I mean, they're big boys, but they're not like multi-billion-dollar Blizzard corporations.
Yeah.
They listen to their player feedback. They do podcasts with like all different kinds of content creators. They do Q&As all the freaking time, asking for input. They'll answer questions and talk about their reasons for it. It's so much better. Like if you've ever like felt jaded and you feel like you're just like throwing your like your concerns out into the ether on their Blizzard forums and you never get any responses, come play PoE. You'll have some fun. But PoE 2 launch, they had some problems. There were some database problems where it kept assigning people this like the same name to other people. So like there was some conflicts there. I don't know if server capacity was an issue. I think it was database related, and they were concerned about that. They were trying to simulate with tools that they have, like what it would be like if they had like 1 million players for their database, but simulations can only do so much.
Yep, feel that.
So yeah, there were some problems, but by the time I logged on, which was about 4 to 5 hours after they
opened it up. Okay,
the only issues that I experienced, there was no login queue, which is insane. I thought there would be a login queue for sure. I have to imagine the problems probably made it so it was less of a problem. Or a lot of people probably were like, "Screw this! I ain't waiting for them." Servers.
Well, I was watching both Riker and Wolfheart FPS, just feverishly hitting login for like 90 minutes. I think Riker said it was on and off for a couple of hours before he got a stable connection in. So I think you came in at probably the right time.
Yeah, I had the only issue we experienced was we had two issues. So while in a party, if you would go to a new zone, every now and then it just would never load. Like the little there's like little cogwheels because they're grinding gear games. Little cogwheels would be at the bottom spinning, and it would just keep spinning. And you would know when it was going to be that way because most of the time when you go to a new zone, you'll hear like a brief like sound of like the next zone coming up, and then you'll also see the cogwheels kind of hitch. They'll be like turning, and then they'll kind of like, and then keep going again. That's when you know it's going to load fine. But so you'd have to like Alt F4 the game because it would just never load. It would eventually crash, or not crash, but like it would like fail back to the screen. But you could just like Alt F4 or close it from the menu, the task manager. And then the second issue was very weird. Random people would just join our party.
Oh,
like we wouldn't invite them; they would just be in our party. Like it would just be like, "Has joined your party," and I'm like, "We're not a public party. What do you mean?" It was very strange. It was something with their matchmaking system, or they don't even have a match. I don't even know. I don't know how they did it. It was just like random people just like join your party, and then like the one time I logged off and logged back in, it showed that I was still in party with my buddy. And then I'm like, "Oh, you're already in my party. I kept you in my party." And he's like, "I'm not in your party," and I'm like, "It shows you're in my party, top left. I can see you." He's like, "Well, I'm not." So then like he invited me, and I hit accept, and then it joined the party. I'm like, "Oh, all right, well." It was weird, but as far as gameplay goes, now this is interesting.
How'd you feel about it? Like, how was it?
Well, I didn't play all night. I played with my buddy from like 7-ish p.m. till like 2 p.m. my time. So like a decent chunk of time.
So is you and one other Path of Exile,
my buddy Ferris Wolf. Yeah, he's a real G. Yeah, we used to play every Path of Exile league together, and then he stopped playing PoE because I don't know, maybe he just got burnt out or something. But he was just like they ever since they announced PoE 2 and that they would fix all the problems that PoE 1 had, he was like, I'm just gonna wait I'm just gonna stop playing normal PoE, and I'm just gonna wait until PoE 2 comes out because they say it's gonna fix everything. And I'm like, all right, well, that kind of sucks because I miss playing with him, but it is what it is. Now PoE 2, he made a mercenary, which is like a crossbow / bow character, and it's kind of a shooter character, like it's a crossbow, but it makes shotgun sounds and like rifle
A shot
sounds.
bow.
So it's like, and even the developers internally call it like an assault rifle or a shotgun. I don't know why they just didn't make it guns. I don't know.
What is like the fantasy setting of it?
It's like
It's not
high
like
power fan. It's like Lord of the Rings. Think Lord of the Rings. That kind of like fantasy where, there's
okay.
magic and wizardry and magical items and fantasy, and you've got it's fairly dark.
More like Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, D&D.
D&D.
Yeah.
Because I
So there are no
it-
guns. Like, it makes sense, but like, why? But it's your world. You can really make it however you want. So if you want to make a gun, make a gun. But like, they just didn't.
There's a game I play, Enter the Gungeon, and it's all about guns. But one of the things they have in it is a bundle of wands, and it's literally just a bunch of magic wands all like tied together, and you shoot it like a shotgun. And I think that would be funny to have in this.
So my buddy's play experience, he loves it.
Okay.
He's using WASD movement, which is brand new to action RPGs. Well, not action RPGs, brand new to PoE. Sorry. I think there's a couple other ones that have done it. You know what's funny about WASD movement? So PoE 2 added WASD movement, WASD, for people that don't know what I'm talking about. Using your like WASD to move around omnidirectionally while you're clicking your whatever spell you have on your right click or left click, and he's using that version. I'm still using the old version, click to move, because I'm reluctant to change. I actually don't think it's that beneficial because the way the characters play, I don't really see it being maybe it's just a personal thing. But anyways, he's enjoying it and loving it. I'm playing a melee character because I'm like, in PoE 1, the biggest meme about melee was that it's shit, and most melee skills that are good aren't melee because they can like shoot from halfway across the screen. So like, it's considered a melee because it's using a melee weapon, but you're like swinging your sword and it's like sending out vorpal waves and it's like blowing up the screen. So it's not really melee. So I was like, but in PoE 2, they talked about like how they wanted to make all melee good because they wanted to like the monk seems good, and like that. And then there's the warrior. It's supposed to be like big chunky hits from the Titan. So I was like, I'll go with Titan. It seems like it'd be fun. It'll be tanky, but it'll still like do decent damage. But like, oh my god! So like, as he's like shooting his bullets or his arrows, his bolts, he's able to move as he's shooting. It slows him down when he moves a little bit, like half speed, but he's still able to like DPS while moving. My guy has to like pick up his weapon and like jump up in the air and then come down and slam. Is legit more than 2 seconds of like wind up time, and you can be stunned out of it. So like, in that 2 seconds, if you take a hit that stuns you, it completely interrupts it. Also, if you click while you're swinging your sword or hand, well, actually only maces, while you're swinging your mace, you go to swing down. If you click anywhere, you can like animation cancel it. So you can like accidentally animation cancel your own attack. That takes forever to swing. And not to mention all of that, it does no damage. You would think this giant wind-up attack that like erupts the earth and blows up the screen, you would think it would be like, whoa. Like I like winded up all this time to like do this crazy damage. No. It's just okay.
Now, something I've been practicing more and more is trying not to buy games on release, getting right into them. Time Capsule says they're going to wait a couple of weeks to give it a try. Do you think right now PoE 2 is worth the $30 buy-in? Or
100%. Yeah. I'm still having fun.
Okay.
My character isn't terrible. It's just that my damage is so low and I have to commit so hard. The bosses actually are good. There's a couple bosses that like the targeting is like they're innovational because like, okay, so you're on this like circle dais, you're on this like raised dais, and they're like this just giant titan that's like punching you and hitting you from like circling around the dais, and you're fighting it. But the targeting on that boss is like, you would see his full body, and I would go to click his body to like do my attack, but my attack would like hit the ground instead of hitting the guy, because like, really, his hitbox is only his hand, because his hand is like over the platform, but his body's not. So if you click on his body, even though it highlights in red showing that it's like an enemy, it like that isn't where you're supposed to click. You have to like go to his hand, his like elbow. It's weird. Like that boss is not good, but there are a lot of bosses that are like very, very cool fights, and they are better than any Diablo 4 fight. Like most Diablo 4 bosses, they're just like you blow them up and they just don't do anything. Their moves are so boring and basic. In Diablo 2, every boss you fight, and there are a lot of them, like we've fought probably 20, 30 bosses at this point.
Oh, and Path of Exile too?
And PoE 2, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're very they all can kill you. And
okay.
I would say for newer players, I don't see that being. I've seen people complaining about it being like, because you don't have like a million damage, you actually have to like dodge the stuff. So if you stand in the fire, you're gonna die. If you stand in the like the large telegraph moves from a boss, if he's like charging up his sword, going, and he goes to swing, and it's about a 3-second windup. If you get hit by that, you're gonna die. And I know that a lot of people don't, you know, they don't love that, I guess, but it's okay. You have a dodge roll, so you can hit space bar on your character roll, dodge roll, and it can iframe some of the attacks, and it also can get you out of the way of some of the attacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's early access. I think it's totally worth the $30, 100%. I mean, it feels so good. I played a sorcerer for about 6 levels before my internet went out this morning. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. So I started playing Balatro because that's the only reason I stopped playing PoE 2, by the way, is because my internet went out. But I got to level 6 of the sorcerer, and like the mercenary, she can cast spells while moving. And I've never played an ARPG where like it feels so fluid. Like as she's moving, she's just kind of like casting spells, and it slows you down a little bit. So like you still have to like be cautious on like your positioning, because if you go to like cast a spell while a boss is doing a wind up, you might slow yourself down enough to where you can't get out of it. So like, you still have to, it still matters, but the fluidity of it feels so good. Like you're just like, I don't know, it just feels good. So yeah, I'm in. I think I want to see what the end game's like. I've been specifically avoiding videos on the internet because I'm just like, I want to really see myself, and I want to like, I'm like making my own builds. I'm not looking up build guides. Back in the day, I used to be a content creator for Path of Exile, and I made my own builds and like posted videos. So it was it was fun. So I'm looking to kind of reignite that spark of like making my own shit work in PoE 2, and they give you the tools to do it. You'll have tons of uncut skill gems to make whatever skill gems you want. So you can like move those around as much as you want.
And I mean, the skill tree looks incredibly customizable, and you can really make some personalized builds, really, tune things to play how you're looking to, or create something absolutely new.
Yeah, if you're using a two-handed mace, you type in either mace or two-handed, and then it'll highlight all the nodes that like give you stuff that deals with two-handed damage. If you're doing physical damage, you type physical damage in, and it'll highlight all the nodes that do physical damage. If you're looking for like mana cost reduction on your attacks because they cost too much mana, you look for that in the skill tree and you find it. Like it looks big and intimidating, but if you kind of just zoom in and focus on just the area you're in, because you start each character starts in their own area, until you start like branching out and doing like crazy builds where like you're a witch, but you're still a melee character using a two-headed mace, which is not normal, but you can do it in PoE. Like that's just how PoE's always been. Like just because you're a witch doesn't mean you can't be a melee fighter. Like it's not normal. Normally they're like a spellcaster or a necromancer, but you can do it in PoE, which is cool. But for basic people, or for basic when you're just starting and you want to just be like, play the game, I go, sorcerer right now, it feels insanely busted compared to what I'm doing, where I'm like, boom, and I'll hit. The sorcerer just like, la da. You know that meme where like the guy's like sweating, everything. He's like trying so hard. He's like punching the monitor, the screen's shaking, and everything's sweating. He's like trying everything. He's like hitting, like boom, no problem. And then it like cuts to the person that like la da 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 da. It's like that's the difference right now between melee, well, specifically the warrior, and all the other characters. It seems like apparently even the monk seems really, really good.
Interesting.
I'm sticking with the warrior because I'm already level like 30. I think we're level 32, and I just got an insane weapon. This
Ooh.
weapon is like double the damage of my previous weapon. So like I'm hoping with double the damage
You
that I
feel
actually
that
can kill some
increase,
monster.
yeah.
If I don't feel like I'm being like if it's like I'm gonna be so sad if it's not insane.
uh,
But yeah, I've rambled on a lot about PoE too. But I think 100% is worth it. I don't know what's happened since I logged off and logged back on. Like I don't know what they've done. I can tell you their website was down for a while, and right now I guess their trade servers are undergoing maintenance. I think what happened is they used their I think they used their website database, like their hosting, to open up more database servers.
oh,
I think
that's funny.
they were just like going all
Just
there's
reallocated resources and crashed their own site for the sake of the game.
yeah. One of the things that this is another thing that I like about PoE, where like again, where like they're a company that really they're very transparent. Is that like when you go to their website, like they just have like this is the long list of like they have like this post on their website on their forums. It's like the early access. They do this with their PoE 1 launches as well, where they like do like timestamps, like boom, this is happening this time, this is happening this time. We're working on this. This is the feedback we hear. We hear people
Wow.
having issues with this. We're aware of an issue. Players in some parties are being placed in other parties. Boom. Until this fix is considered as their feature and enhance your social experience. It's like, hey, you can join random people's parties. Woo! Like this company
That
is
is
great.
incredibly
I love it.
transparent. Yeah.
Like we should have a fix out soon for players purchasing Path of Exile 2 through Steam unable to being logged in. That's a big problem. They should really fix that soon.
Yeah.
That was yesterday, so they probably I assume they have that fixed already. We've run into some of the symptoms again with a different problem. So yeah, like I said, this is like super updating. Like and you have to remember when you're buying into this that the game is early access. So expect some bugs, expect some imbalance. I feel like the bosses have been fun. So I'm in. I don't know. Why not?
No, that's great to hear, man. I mean,
I'll certainly be playing it as soon as we get off.
It's been a long time coming. I know that they've been talking
5
about it
years.
for years and years, and I'm glad that it has had such a positive reception. I'm seeing a lot of folks playing, and it's really getting a lot
If you
of
go to
coverage.
Reddit, there are people bitching about the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, pretty much every major video game coverage outlet I'm seeing is rather positive about it. So
This does kind of describe but everything I just said about the game. This kind of does. This, yeah, that pretty much describes it.
POA after starting and watching my friends. Which gameplay smells? Yeah.
Look at me, guys. I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Melee feels pretty bad. Spells feel great. Apparently, minions are good. If you want to play like a summoner minion build.
Yeah, I've been watching somebody that's been doing a minions build, and it does look pretty interesting.
People are complaining about the lack of loot because in Path of Exile 1, there's so many items that drop that you need a loot filter to be able to see anything that's good. It'll just like completely hide the things that are bad. And while having a screen full of loot, actually, I can actually show you. I'll see if I can find it. Pat, entertain the chat while I look.
Yeah, and again, it's just been awesome getting to know everybody through gameplay and shared experiences in games. And now that we're starting to open it up to a little bit more multiplayer stuff, I'm definitely looking at gameplay differently. And that's one of the interesting things for me about Enshrouded is a solo player. That's usually how I spend most of my time. Red Dead Redemption 2. I've been playing a whole lot of it lately, but the online multiplayer aspect of that, what up, Prime? Long time. Haven't seen you, buddy. I hope you've been doing well. Wave to you, Den.
He comes in from time to time.
But with Enshrouded, it's exactly the same game, whether you're playing solo or multiplayer. The online experiences are just, mirrored just the same way. I mean, there's not a lot of games that have that exact same feel. I mean, Minecraft, yeah, sure, it comes in sort of the same thing, but it doesn't feel like you're building up a party. There's something about it. Really love that game. Been busy with work, usually working Saturdays. Look at you out there on the grind. What a Sigma male. I think that's the term, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. Freaking Gen Z nowadays ruining everything. So Black Friday came and went, Cyber Monday or whatever the hell that was. Got a nice big fancy TV and a 2 terabyte hard drive to upgrade my computer. So I got a bunch of games downloaded. Man, I definitely spent too much time on Kingwin getting a bunch of deals. So I finally got that Mad Max game. I've heard incredible things about it. It was like $1.90. So you can't really beat those type of prices. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah, that's really about the biggest thing. I've been thinking about getting back into Hades 2. I only played like 3 hours of it because it was right when it first launched. And they did a huge patch recently. There's a big update that just came out in October. So it might be worth time to revisit that. But
I've never played Hades.
Oh, wow. It's incredibly good. It's probably one of the best roguelike games ever made.
Yeah, I've watched my buddy play it, and I'm like, yeah, that looks fun. But for whatever reason, I've just never.
I mean, it doesn't really seem like your type of game, in all honesty. Just no slight against you or anything. It's just the way that I've seen you have fun doing, playing video games and stuff, and it just doesn't seem like the type of game for you. It's definitely just button mashing kind of inputs. There's definitely builds to be made and all that, but it's all based on RNG. It's much more tuned to
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Balatro. That's a lot of RNG.
Yes and no. Like there's more choices at one time presented to you than there are in Hades. Usually in Hades, it's left or right. It's either I want Aphrodite or Zeus. And then you just keep going on very small choice paths. Whereas in Balatro, you can get a couple of jokers all at the same time. You open a buffoon pack, you can re-roll it. It's definitely a very different type of it's less cerebral, in all honesty. It's definitely about just zoning out and letting your dodge button and attacks, just your brain and hands don't work together. It's turn off.
All right, I found something that gives an example of what I'm talking about, like what your screen looks like without a loot filter in Path of Exile. I couldn't find the video that I had because I have videos, but I having to scrub through them trying to find.
Dear sweet God.
Yeah, so you're just looking at it gets so bad that so many items drop that if you hold down Alt, which is the thing that you can disable your loot filter by holding down Alt, it'll crash the screen. It'll crash the game if there's too much loot on the ground because the server can't display everything that's there or some shit like that.
No, I mean, that's cool, but also super not.
So yeah, if you play without a loot filter, this is what your game would look like if you're super juicing at the end game.
It would just break everything, yeah.
So yeah, it'll just you can't move, you can't see. Not only are your skills making you not be able to see, but you just can't see.
What up, Coach? Man, we're getting some of the classics, some staple folks in.
Yeah,
some long-time channel supporters, and we do appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, we'll be going on for another 7 minutes or so, and then we're gonna jump over to the members only channel. So is there anything? What else was on the docket? Did we have anything else?
The docket for the docket. I really did want to talk about not buying games right on launch, and it definitely translates over into TCG stuff for the most part. Buying most things in trading card games in general, it's usually not that great. Usually seeing things dip down quite quickly. So I think honestly, as long as you can get past the FOMO, that's the biggest thing nowadays, being stoic at the purchasing. And I 100% agree with you, Coach. Matt does look sharp with the trimmed up thing. I was going to say something, but we got right into it at the beginning here.
Yeah, I got rid of this. It's not like super shaven, but it's like stubble basically. It actually, I trimmed it a little shorter than I normally do. But I'm just like, it is what it is. But I did make sure to like, trim up this, make these like sharper lines.
Looking good.
At a certain point, you have to make sure you maintain a nice appearance. And I don't like the stash. The stash gets like when you're eating, you gotta wipe through the stash and get the shit out of it. My beard kind of, for the most part, stays out of the way. Sometimes this part will like get into the food, and I don't like that. I've been thinking about like tucking my beard in while I eat so it doesn't like move around, but that feels a little weird. I don't know.
You gotta braid it so you can like toss it over your shoulder.
If I braided it, would be shorter, and it would be less annoying because like every day that I have to exist, I guess, I have to like redo the little like thing because like stray hairs like pull out over time. Then I want it to like look all clean and flat, so I have to do this. Then I have to take the little thing out to like redo it. I just don't know how to braid, to be completely honest.
It's pretty easy.
I'd have to learn. Plus, like a lot of it looks like clean here, but like a lot of, you can't really tell. You're not gonna be able to tell, but there's like stray hairs that aren't as long as every other hair. So what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to like grow it out so every hair is the same length. I know it's not gonna happen, but like I want them all to be in the same length so that when I braid them, there isn't like little like stragglers poking out everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, because that's just not how hair works. I know it doesn't all grow at the same length, but I would like that. Your head hair can do it. Why can't beard hair do it?
There is actually like a gene or a cluster of genes. It is just something interesting I learned along the way. It is going to be our closing note: weird things with Pat. So there is a gene in human beings that tells certain parts of your body's hair growth to stop growing hair. That's why your eyelashes aren't as long as Matt's beard.
Can you imagine having to like trim your eyelashes all the time?
Right. Like and that was one of the reasons why this has stuck with me forever. Like your armpit hair, it doesn't get as long as the hair there. Like the hair on your legs doesn't get that long. I've never cut my leg hair.
My hair is pretty long.
Right, but
it's
like
not long as like the beard or my hair.
Imagine like if your ear hair was that long, like if your eyebrows were that long, if your nose hair came out it's a weird thing. But there are some people who have a genetic mutation and it doesn't stop their hair from growing like that everywhere, and that's why they were werewolf people.
True.
So that's like the gene malfunction in human beings creates werewolves. It's really interesting. Until next time, have a great night. We'll see the members over in our other stream.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Yeah, I think that was fun. I kind of like that. I'm gonna